headed to Cowboy Christmas a little early. I sat in that tarot conference for a little bit, and what's funny is I was asked to leave, not because, it wasn't an unreasonable request. They got a president and CEO for the CTER, and the president is Lee Adolph. Now, Lee and I don't know each other. However, I don't mind going to native tarot conferences, and I get an opportunity to work in a lot of fields that I wouldn't. And a lot of tribes and a lot of businesses, they spend, for non-members, it's $700. I don't have that kind of money. So I don't work in tarot. But I'm hungry after the information. So I'm constantly trying to be better and get better and, try to understand the laws and the ordinances and different stuff, though. However, what was dealt with a little earlier, I had Lee Adolph come up to me and say, do you plan on? And I was like, no. I kind of let him know my situation, and he said, well, I'm kind of all for that. However, you seem to have an issue with Kimberly Dixie. Kimberly Dixie is with the Shoshone-Bannock tribes. So, she and I lightly dated. Furthermore, she works for Penta Building Group. Penta Building Group is a Las Vegas non-native construction company. They build billion-dollar casinos for us natives. So, where I stopped completely associating anything to do with her was because of this. Number one, there's only two native people that even work for there. Number one, it's a guy, he does the business side, and his name is Darren. He's Cherokee. We all know that they're not very, I don't want to say we don't all know that they're traditional. She's from a Plains tribe. Plains tribes tend to be a little bit more down. She doesn't have any kids, and I always felt that was probably one of the reasons why she didn't actually help. So my main issue was this. Had nothing to do with about me getting sponsorship or any of that stuff. When $1 billion changes hands from one casino being built, and they're wanting an RFP, a proposal. They're wanting to propose $1 billion casino to build it. My thing is this. You got $1 billion changing hands. I want to see suicide prevention, at-risk youth, drug and alcohol rehabs. I want to see people get financed for some stuff. So before you can even really bid on that kind of stuff, what are you willing to offer us, or what are you willing? And they're always saying, well, we don't do that. Correction, you don't do that on non-native land. We're here to build big businesses, and we're here to build our own thing. So that's funny that a guy that is the president of TARO, which is Tribal Employment Rights Ordinance, you're supposed to give tribal and native preference. But this fucking big giant company, Penta Building Group, only employs 2 natives. And it's 2 token natives that are selling out the rest of us. But you're protecting them because fucking Penta sponsors you a little bit? Maybe $500 or $1,000 for your little event? But there's $1 billion! $1 billion that is changing hands from a tribal. I'm a sun dancer. Whether I get any thank yous or not, I understand finance. I understand the marketing aspect, though. They make less than $50,000 a year, 2 employees. So that's less than $100,000. So you're trying to tell me that they build casinos in Oklahoma, Massachusetts, Florida, Washington, California, Arizona. Ask anybody about Penta Building Group, they'll be like, it's a humongous, giant, humongous You know, they build at least $350 million buildings, though. So if they build our tribal casinos, I mean, you would think that they would want to help out, you know, but they don't. They don't. And they keep a tarot lady because they have to stay in coordinates with the tarot laws. So I've got some asshole now from Northwest that is, you know, that doesn't know me, that's putting on a red cape like Superman, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna come in and swoop in and save somebody. I'm like, I was like, he's like, well, I have to protect her interests. I'm like, you don't even know me. Lee Adolph. You just, whatever, man. I mean, I'm sure that you're, as a non-profit organization, though, you might want to ask Miss Kimberly how come there's $1 billion worth of business and you guys only get $100 of it, $500 of it. You might get a sponsorship for a golf tournament. Amazing. $1 billion casino goes up. $5 billion casino goes up in South Korea by the Mohegan Sun. Or who did the pre-construction for the Mashpee Wampanoags? Penta Building Group. Why did they have to change their name from Penta Building Group? Because they were called Perini Group. And Perini built there in Vegas at City Center. They built the Harmon Tower. They built it without any steel beams in it because they were trying to. Oh, Ron Lansky. I know all about that stuff, but I'm the one in the wrong, right? Because I don't want to pay $700 because I can't afford it. You know, whatever, man.